Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cortina.
All right, let's sit up so we're ready. Track me. We're going to be working. All right, so today we're going to come back to Fantastic Mr. Fox. We are working on character traits, chapters 1 and 2. We read through them together. We looked and studied at the 3 different farmers. What was special about those first 2 chapters was that they gave us the character traits, right? They told us what they looked like, how they acted, and they were very little, meaning that they gave us the information with the physical traits right in the book. We didn't have to do too much thinking. But we're going to have to turn our thinking caps on this one because we're going to be looking at the character traits, which is just the description of a character's personality based on their statements, their behaviors, and their actions. On this one, we're really going to be focused on their actions, the things they do, and what they say. So we're going to start with a quick warm-up so we can compare and contrast some of the traits here into positive and negative categories. So in front of you, you have a list of statements and actions. I want you to pick up your pencil and silently put these actions or statements into a positive or negative category. All right, I'm going to stop because a lot of you already have notes. In 3, 2, and 1. I see a lot of you wrote either P or N next to it and then started moving over to the categories. So, let's look at the first one. Checks homework 2 times, positive or negative?
Positive.
Laughs when others make mistakes.
Negative.
Packs their lunch for school every day.
Positive.
Makes sure to have books ready, books to read each night.
Positive.
Writes the first answer that comes to mind, comes to their head.
Negative.
And the last one says, I got all the answers right. Again, I'm amazing.
Negative.
Negative, right? So we have these in our positive and negative categories. We're going to think about all these actions, all these statements, and then summarize them into one main trait. So the first one, the positives were checks homework 2 times, makes their lunch every night, and makes sure to have a reading a book.
Responsible.
What trait can we say that a person that does that or says that is? Jeremiah.
Responsible?
Why would you say they're responsible? Tariq.
You should say responsible because responsible.
Loud and proud, friend.
You could say that they're responsible because responsible means someone is trying their best to do something, and the person is trying their best to complete homework and have lunch. Make sure they have lunch for school if they don't went to school right, and they can move up more levels when they have a book to read each night.
Yeah, so they're doing what they need to do to be called responsible, right? Now, what about all the negatives, which was makes fun of friends who get the wrong answer, says I'm amazing. What would you say that scholar is? John. Loud and proud.
I would say the scholar will be disrespectful.
I can't hear you.
Disrespectful to
Disrespectful? Why?
I would say that person is disrespectful because we know that laughing at other people is like being disrespectful and all.
Why is that disrespectful? John. Jose, sorry.
I think that's disrespectful because you think you're better than every other person.
You think you're better than them?
Like
Okay.
when it says like all the questions that you think.
Yeah. Impulsive? Why would that be impulsive?
That would be
Kind of goes with why they're disrespectful. Go ahead.
that issue is impulsive because when it says write the answer that first comes in their head, that'll be instead of like thinking it over, they just write it. And for laughs when others make mistakes, if what happens if you have the same mistake?
I'm gonna stop you right there for that one. I'm gonna wrap it up for you. It would be like, they're not thinking about their feelings, someone else's feelings. Go Mia, go Eileen. They're not thinking about how it's gonna make them feel. You're being impulsive versus thinking about it. Now, this is great. Now we're able to think about actions and statements to see if they're positive or negative. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna answer one big question. Our question at the end will be, who is more intelligent, Mr. or Mrs. Fox? Well, we have to know what the word intelligent means. So what I want to know is what you think the word intelligent means. At the bottom, there's a space for you to write the definition. Write what you think intelligent means right now. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and I want you to turn and talk. You, and I'll talk to you. Tell your partner what you think intelligent means. Go.
Intelligent means when you understand and brilliant ideas.
Okay.
That's what they're doing over and over again.
You don't need that. You don't need that.
And
Alright, let's bring it back. Jose, share your response. Loud and proud.
I think intelligent means someone who is clever and smart and thinks before doing it.
Clever and smart. Let me write this on the board. Clever and smart. So we have two words that we're going to use to describe intelligent. Alright, what else, Tariq?
I think someone who,
Loud and proud.
so, my definitions of intelligent is someone who is smart and checks what they are doing over and over again.
Okay, we go back to smart. John.
Intelligent means when someone is smart and has good ideas.
Loud and proud. We can't hear you.
Intelligent means when someone is smart and has good ideas to be resourceful.
Good ideas and resourceful. I'm going to write down ideas and resourceful. Okay? Aquisha.
Intelligent is someone who is clever and has smart ideas to a problem.
Clever, smart ideas, fixing a problem. Jeremiah.
Intelligent means when you are smart and thinking of brilliant ideas.
Thinking of, so we're going to go back to, we have clever, smart, ideas, and back to resourceful to solve those problems. I want you to think, and we can look up to the words I use to describe intelligent when we think about who is more intelligent, Mr. or Mrs. Fox. Alright? So now we all have one vocabulary definition for intelligent. Now, turn the page. We're going to go to our jot section. We're going to be jotting some things down as we read chapter 3. So go ahead and open your book to chapter 3, which is page 10, the shooting. Alright, we're going to start with the beginning of the chapter. Track it with your eyes. Well, my darling, said Mr. Fox, what shall it be tonight? I think we'll have duck tonight, said Mrs. Fox. Bring us 2 fat ducks, if you please. One for you and me, and one for the children. Ducks it shall be, said Mr. Fox. Goose is best. Now do be careful, said Mrs. Fox. My darling, said Mr. Fox, I can smell those goons a mile away. I can even smell one from the other. Bogus gives a filthy stink of rotten chicken skins. Goose reeks of goose livers. And as for Bean, the fumes of apple cider hang around him like poisonous gas. Okay, track me. There's a couple of things people said. Mr. and Mrs. Fox said some things, and I want you to go ahead and let's share. What did Mrs. Fox tell Mr. Fox? John. Not John, Tariq. Mrs. Fox
said, now do be careful.
Now do be careful. What do you think that tells you? That's the same. She said something. What do you think that shows about Mrs. Fox? Think about the situation that's happening. What happened in the first 2 chapters? Why do you think she said, now do be careful? What would you say this, how does that affect the character trait you're thinking about? Aquisha. Loud and proud.
I think she's really worried.
Worried, right? Why is she worried?
Because she thinks that the farmer is
Go ahead, she thinks the farmers are waiting for her, all right? Now, she's worried. If she's worried, what's another word we can use to describe someone who's worried about something, but could be maybe considered intelligent?
Cautious.
Cautious, why?
Cautious because she's saying like, oh no, be careful because you never know what like the plan, what are they trying to do to get.
Go on, Brianna. Yeah, so she doesn't know what to happen. Now, what did Mr. Fox say? Jeremiah.
Mr. Fox says, I can smell those rooms a mile away.
So a mile is a pretty far distance, right? You learned it in math class. It's super far. It will take you a long time to walk a mile. So, what do you think it says about Mr. Fox if he says that? Jose T.
That he has a better sense of smell.
Why? Why do you say that?
If you could smell a mile away, a mile is pretty far.
Uh-huh.
And you can smell them all the way, and humans can't do that.
Okay, humans can't do that. Add on. Jeremiah.
And like the fox is bragging.
Ooh, bragging. Let's track him. Why do you think he's bragging?
I think the fox is bragging because he's saying that he has a really good smell, a really good
Sense of smell.
sense of smell. Like he has the best sense of smell.
Okay, now, if he's bragging, what can we use to describe a person who brags a lot? Someone who's always bragging about how good they are at math, at reading, at smelling something, at basketball. What would you call them? There could be a negative and a positive way to describe someone. John, how would you describe someone who's always bragging?
If Mr. Fox is bragging,
Loud and proud.
if Mr. Fox is bragging, he thinks she might be smart because
Okay, so he might be smart. What else do we think? How else could we describe Mr. Fox with a character trait of someone who brags a lot?
Like if people brag, they want other people to maybe feel selfish.
You wouldn't want someone else to be selfish. Only you can be selfish.
But that could make.
So I want you to think, if someone is bragging, how do you think they're acting? Jeremiah?
I think they're acting vain.
Vain? Ooh, that'd be a good way to describe it. What does vain mean for some of our friends?
Vain means it's like they're saying they, like they're bragging like he's vain, like he's like mean. It's like
So I'm gonna stop it right there. So vain would be more that you're worried and concentrated on yourself, right? It's all about you. Alright, so on this one, we're going to stick with bragging and come back to it a little bit later. Alright, now, I'm going to keep reading on. Go next chapter. So far we talked about Mr. Fox and Mrs. Fox, cautious, worried, and Mr. Fox going with bragging. Go Jose, go Donald. On this one, starting with, yes, but just don't get careless, said Mrs. Fox. You know they'll be waiting for you, all three of them. Don't be worried about me, said Mr. Fox. I'll see you later. But Mr. Fox would not have been quite so cocky had he had known exactly where the three farmers were waiting at that moment. They were just outside the entrance to the hole, each one crouching behind a tree with his loaded gun. And what is more, they had chosen their position very carefully, making sure that the wind was not blowing from them toward the fox's hole. In fact, it was blowing in the opposite direction. There was no chance of them being smelled out. Alright, on this one, I'm actually going to help you and talk about how I see that the farmers in this paragraph. In this paragraph, I would describe a character trait for the farmers as being clever. That's my claim. The farmers are clever. The farmers, or in other words, are intelligent. What I want you to do with you and your partner is I want you to go into the text, this last paragraph, and explain what evidence supports my claim that the farmers are intelligent. Two, and we go.
One that supports that the farmers are intelligent is when it says they had chosen their position very carefully, making sure the wind was not blowing from the
They had chosen their position very
Okay. Why? How does that show that they were intelligent?
That shows that they were intelligent because if they're not,
and then
if the wind is not blowing towards the fox, then the fox will smell
Best
them.
evidence is they had chosen their position very carefully, making sure that the wind will not blow.
3, 2, and 1. I'm going to share what my smart partner Jeremiah said. Jeremiah, go ahead and show us what text evidence would support that the farmers are intelligent.
It says, and what is more, they had chosen their positions very carefully, making sure that the wind was not blowing from them towards the foxhole.
Track him. How does this show that they're intelligent?
That shows that they're intelligent, because if they're standing in the opposite direction of the foxhole, the fox can't smell them. The fox can't smell them, but they can smell the fox.
So I want you to go back and think about some of the notes we wrote down for intelligent and clever. What was their problem that they had to think about to be resourceful and have a plan? What did they have to? What was the problem with them standing outside waiting for the fox? Jose. So, why is this intelligent? Why is waiting outside where they can't smell them intelligent?
Well, I can tell you because if the farmers weren't doing that, the fox will get an advantage of smelling them. And now, because the farmers pick their positions very carefully, the fox won't be able to smell them from a mile away.
Turn and talk. Tell your partner what Jose just said.
You just said that the fox will have an advantage.
I hear him using the word that Jose used to
The fox will
explain.
have an advantage. The fox will have an advantage if the wind was blowing where the opposite. The wind the opposite.